If you believe you may have any information regarding this case, you are urged to contact the Kentucky State Medical Examiner's Office on 502-489-5209 or at amy.burrows@ky.gov. Alternatively, you could contact the Kentucky State Police Dry Ridge Post on 859-428-1212 or at john.felder@ky.gov. This video features discussions of suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. On either the 1st or the 6th of July 1996, a teenager was walking his dog in a heavily wooded remote area between Butler and Falmouth in Pendleton County, Kentucky, when he stumbled across a most alarming discovery. He'd found a human body, suspended by a woven fence wire noose around the neck from a tree overhanging a dry creek bed. Terrified, the teenager ran for help, and authorities soon arrived on the scene to retrieve the remains. An autopsy revealed the mummified body belonged to a male, deceased for around 1 to 7 months prior to discovery. Due to the level of decomposition, the cause and manner of death could not be determined, though suicide by hanging is suspected by the police. The decedent's race is uncertain, though it's believed he was probably of Caucasian, Hispanic, and/or Asian descent. He was most likely between 25 and 45 years old. He stood approximately 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall. His black hair was fine, slightly wavy, and around 3 to 4 inches long. He wore a goatee and a thin mustache, with sparse stubble across the angle of his lower jaw. He hadn't undergone any prior dental work, though he was missing teeth number 9 and number 10 ante-mortem. In the 3 months to 7 years prior to his death, he'd suffered significant facial trauma resulting in a comminuted Lefort 3 fracture. In layman's terms, this means his upper jaw was essentially detached from the base of his skull, causing multiple bone splinters. According to University of Iowa Healthcare, Lefort 3 fractures are most commonly caused by high-speed deceleration vehicle crashes in which the victim's face collides with a stationary object like a dashboard or pavement, or by being struck in the face with a rigid object such as a baseball bat or a tire iron. Permanent titanium surgical plates and screws in the decedent's skull indicated he'd undergone facial reconstruction surgery to repair the damage. This would have likely left him with significant scarring and some apparent facial disfigurement. This may also have caused his nose to appear crooked. According to an article published just a month after his death, the decedent was found nude. A witness interviewed by the local news in circa 2011 contradicted this, saying he saw clothes hanging off the quote-unquote shrunken body. Whatever the case, the decedent is known to have worn a rosary of black and clear beads, with a white plastic medallion bearing an imprint of the Virgin Mary, and a scapula made from brown or black woven fabric with patches bearing the Carmelite coat of arms tied in a simple knot. This jewellery suggests he may have been Roman Catholic. Catholic tradition dating back to the 13th century states that those who die while wearing this scapula shall be saved from the suffering of eternal fire. The decedent carried no known personal effects and no form of identification, and despite law enforcement's efforts, his identity eludes them to this day. According to census data, Falmouth had a population of 2,039 in 2000. Butler's population was even lower at only 604. Since the case of this John Doe is fairly known in the area, at least according to my research, this suggests he probably wasn't a local. You'd think that if he was, someone would have recognised him by now. That begs the question, why Falmouth? What connection, if any, did this man have to a tiny city in the middle of rural Kentucky? We may never know for certain, but we can theorise. A theory among residents of Falmouth is that the deceased man was a seasonal migrant worker, though there is no real evidence to back this up. Others online have brought up theories of him committing suicide after developing an addiction to pain medication, or maybe because he was in debt from his medical procedures. There's also speculation that he may have been a Catholic priest, and even suggestions that he was murdered. Although, with such limited information to go on, all these theories are essentially baseless. This case is certainly an odd one. There are considerable discrepancies in seemingly simple facts, such as the date he was found or whether or not he was wearing clothes. I wish I could make a more in-depth video, but I only found a total of 8 websites on which this case is mentioned. I painstakingly scoured online newspaper archives for hours and only found 2 articles discussing this Doe, from 1996 and 1997 respectively. The next and as yet most recent news archive I found about his case is from around 2011. There is almost no trace of him in the mainstream media, which quite honestly shocks me, considering how easily this case could be solved given the right pair of eyes. The only places where his case seems to have garnered notable online discussion in recent years are web sleuths and a Facebook group dedicated to the unidentified deceased. Speaking of web sleuths, I ought to mention that a web sleuth user has contacted Carmel Manor twice to inquire if anyone within their organisation had any connection to John Doe, given that he wore the Carmelite coat of arms on his scapula. Regrettably, no response was ever received. It appears that, in this case, every lead has dried up. Almost 30 years since this man's death, his identity is still no closer to being revealed than it was when his body was first found. And I rather think that, no matter who he was in life, he deserves to be laid to rest with a name. The decedent's fingerprints, dentals, and DNA are available for comparison. A number of missing people have been ruled out as candidates for his identity. A list of these rule-outs is located in this video's description. Again, if you believe you have any information regarding this case, you are urged to contact the Kentucky State Medical Examiner's Office on 502-489-5209 or at amy.burrows@ky.gov. Alternatively, you could contact the Kentucky State Police Dry Ridge Post on 859-428-1212 or at john.felder@ky.gov. Thank you very much for giving Pendleton County John Doe a moment of your day.